166 chapters in, and this is still one of my favorite series because it keeps things fresh. In this chapter, Yamada becomes a 7th witch. Now, of course, in the last chapter, we found out that Ushio wants to steal Nancy's power as part of their promise, so of course she's going to have to let him do that, or else he'll get what's-his-face, the other 7th witch, to erase everyone's memory. Now, if Ushio gets this power, pretty much everyone is screwed, so in order to fight against him, Nancy kisses Yamada to give him her power, and he becomes a 7th witch. And oh man, we learned some interesting things. For once, we finally get to see what it's like to be a 7th witch. When Yamada gets the power and looks at Nancy, he can tell she's a witch because she has a freaking witch hat on. So now all the art for the series now, like the cover art for the manga and all those bonus pages, all of that actually makes sense now, because for once we actually get the point of the witch hats that we never see in the actual manga, but it's all over the artwork. Now that actually makes sense. We also see how you can tell when someone's under a power because they will appear to him as the person who put them under the power. So yeah, that's really cool. We never really understood how the 7th witch could do this before. We also learned that all it takes to erase someone's memory is to picture it in your head and wish for them to disappear, which is kind of frightening because that is something that, you can think about really easily without even realizing it, so hopefully Yamada makes the right decisions with this one, although I'm also worried about how Ushio's, what his plans are. So anyway, Yamada brings the news back to Miyamura and Noah, who I did a spoiler-free discussion before, but these two characters are my favorite characters, some of my favorite characters in manga. They're so good together. These recent chapters where it's been the two of them and Yamada have been so much fun. Anyway, Yamada brings the news to them, and of course, Noah kisses Yamada because she wants to see what's going to happen when you kiss the 7th witch, which we've never actually known before. No one's kissed the 7th witch, so we're not sure how that works since their powers work differently from everyone else. But nothing seemed to happen anyway. So then Yamada runs into Sid, and Sid's like, "Oh, did Nancy tell you about what a spotter is?" And he's like, "Nope, so a spotter." We find out, and this makes a ton of sense. A spotter is the 7th witch can choose one person who will never get their memory erased, no matter what. And the first 7th witch, Rika, I think her name was, she kissed the president, and throughout history in the school, the president would always make a deal with the 7th witch so they would never forget things, which actually makes a ton of sense. And of course, Sid was Nancy's spotter. So Sid, of course, wants Nancy to be his spotter, but he's like, nah, the only person who can do that is Shirashi, which makes of sense because of all the people who could forget him, he really doesn't want Shirashi forgetting him again, because that was a disaster during that arc when she forgot him. But then Sid says, the way you make a spotter is by kissing people, which means that Noah is Yamada's spotter. That's perfect. That is perfect. I cannot see that going any other way. Noah is friggin' crazy. Oh my god, this is going to be amazing. So we know Ushio's plan is to gather all of these 7 witches of that other dude's group, the guy with the umbrella whose name I can never remember. And he wants to wish that things would go back to the way they were in the beginning before anyone got their memories erased. Which in turn, of course, will most likely involve people's memories getting erased. But you see, the thing is, Ushio does not know that Yamada will remember, and so will Noah. And also, Yamada doesn't want to use the memory erasing power because then everyone at school will forget him, but Noah will not. So if the time does come where he accidentally uses this power or needs to use it on purpose, at least someone, even though she's a bit crazy, at least someone will remember who he is and can help him get back to normal. It's also really helpful how we can actually see witches now, because it makes that whole long-ass witch hunting stuff, that can be done really quickly. Just, school assembly, just to stand up, get a good look, see all the witches. But yeah, this arc is getting very interesting, and I really hope the anime comes back at some point. I haven't seen the anime still, but I do know that it was really rushed. They put 80 chapters into 12 episodes, so I really hope it either gets a new season or a longer remake down the line. I don't know. The series may need to gain a bit more popularity before that happens, but we can still hope. So that was my review for this week's chapter of Yamada-Kun and the 7 Witches. I love this series so much, and this chapter reminded me why. So with that, I will see you guys next week for another Yamada review.